All right, Linda, thanks for the update with that. Christopher Tapp's untimely death did not leave him much time to enjoy his freedom after his release from 20 years in prison. He leaves a lasting legacy that he actually worked on. It ensures those who are wrongfully convicted can receive compensation after they are proven innocent. It is called the wrongful conviction law. Stephanie Lucas tells us more.
Senator Doug Ricks was elected to the Idaho House of Representatives in 2018. Like many East Idahoans, he'd watched Christopher Tapp's case with interest.
I just felt sad. I just thought, here's a guy, 20 years of his life was taken away from him.
He began work on the Wrongful Conviction Act in 2020 after he'd met with Tapp and the head of the Idaho Innocence Project. They told him while those who had committed crimes received services when they came out of prison.
There's a little bit of money provided for housing, there's some counseling, there's some advice on jobs and things like that, but not if you're let out wrongfully convicted and exonerated. You're essentially just dropped off. And so that's where the idea for the bill that I sponsored and brought forth, the Wrongful Conviction Act, came about.
Ricks sponsored the bill that would ultimately become law. The bill had some setbacks. It was vetoed by Governor Brad Little the first year. After adjustments were made, Brad Little signed it into law in March of 2021. Representative Barb Ehart of Idaho Falls was happy to co-sponsor the bill in the House after Doug Ricks was elected to the Senate. She had followed the case before she was in the legislature.
Early on, when I was still on the city council, I knew that Christopher was innocent. And so when Doug brought that legislation, it was a no-brainer for me because, again, it's something that I had believed in far longer than probably any elected official at that point.
The law has already assisted two other people besides Tapp. When asked what lawmakers can do moving forward without Christopher's voice, Senator Ricks had this to say.
Make sure we preserve the DNA evidence long term. Most jurisdictions do that. Thank goodness that was done in Charles Fain's case and also Christopher Tapp's. We can also make sure that we keep recordings of those interrogations.
Both lawmakers spoke about the impact working on the law with Chris had on them.
It's a tragic tale, and yet there's some good to be found in it. The good of Christopher Tapp, his heart, the message that he wanted to send, and how he wanted to live his life after such a terrible tragedy.
When he testified in our committee hearings, there was hardly a dry eye in the whole room, as you can imagine, both in the House and the Senate, just very impactful and very strong. I mean, it's one of those things that everybody who's part of this process, it's changed them.
Reporting in Idaho Falls, I'm Stephanie Lucas.
Idaho's wrongful conviction law provides $62,000 per year for wrongful incarceration and $75,000 per year if wrongfully served on death row.